Wow. Like
Yeah.
powerhouse. Wow.
Okay. What do you
Okay.
got?
So the first one for me totally has to be this concept of character of all people needed in the world today because of the fact that it's stuff that people don't learn. They're not taught in schools. They're not developed anymore. Yes, you and I could sit and talk a million different times about having courage or ambition, like how he related that to the word of taking initiative. And we can think of a million different reasons of why to apply it in business. But I think this overbroad concept of how the world needs it is an amazing thing that I could see how he's changing the world.
Yeah. So, like, we're all learning these character traits, but we might only be learning so many. So, he mentioned, it could be out schooled, out churched, right? Like, you're not getting it from somewhere. So, I don't know what the character is for maybe it's courageous, but my mom was very, very shy. I was very, very shy. My mom was determined that I wouldn't be shy. So, I'm going to guess in that app, part of being courageous, how we learned from Fred Joyle,
Yes,
Super Bowl,
yes. Yeah.
is like taking an action, right? Like doing something about it. And so my mom made sure then I was up on stage whenever I could be. And then before you know it, I would just be on stage, even when my mom wasn't around. So speech meets and spelling bees and passion play, like it just became this muscle that you just kept flexing. And so I think that's courageous, but it's only because I had somebody to say, hey, I don't want you to be like this, like me. Or his mom told him, like, you need to be more gentlemanly. I mean, kindness right now. Could people please? I'm always expecting something crazy in the comments of social media. You'll read 5 that are negative, and then you'll find some people that stick up for people and are kind. I don't think that it's not anywhere or that it's void from the planet. I just think that there's no real intention in making sure people are getting it. Not everyone's going to Sunday school. That's fine. Not everyone's going to a school that they love. Okay, well, where are they going to get these things from? So I think it's fantastic that he's got a spot.
Yes. Awesome. What else? What do you
Mhm.
got?
Everyone's in a talent crisis, right? I don't think that's like news necessarily, not a giant takeaway, but just to think about how if everyone's in a talent crisis, everyone's in a talent crisis. The
Yep.
only option is to train and then not just train because they could leave, but train and figure out ways to keep. I think the way that you keep people is to make sure they are working on something bigger, right? Like, what's the mission at hand? Do they feel like they see their role in that they're having wins? And so to me, it just comes back if everyone's in talent crisis, the only option is to make sure whoever we do have that we invest in them the best way we can. And this is an excellent way to invest.
And I don't want to go too mushy, but like, you kept referencing that word about kindness. And I'm going to go even further. I think it's all about just caring, having a culture of care. Do I care about something bigger? If I care about something bigger as the employer, as the owner of the company, and that resonates with you, now you're caring about something bigger. Oh, and by the way, if I'm also caring about that and you're caring about that, I'm probably caring about you. I'm caring about your well being. I go back to your Disney villain comment always.
So what's super interesting about you bringing the Disney villains up, it's that they were like an organization in this world out to do good. I'm not naming names or anything like that. I felt like at that time it was like a bait and switch. They were out to do good, but we were treated terribly. So they cared about something really big and everybody inside cared about that too. And they were about that mission and running after it. But in the meantime, it was awful and toxic and people hated being there. And so you can even have places that are up to good, up to a mission, but inside they're not great. They're not kind. I thought one of the takeaways for me at the end, he talked about how that he would like to do a show at some point, but he'd want to do it with just anybody, like just everyday people doing their work, doing their life, and how character shows up. And he said that his team doesn't love it. And I knew before he was going to say it, we were going to love it. He asked for feedback, like, how did he do on the show? And, it was easy to tell him, like, well, you told stories, and that's what we're here for. We're here to share stories only you can tell. It's no surprise to me that the guy behind building other characters wants to talk about everyday characters and that he happens to be around a team who's like, yeah, but that's not our ideal target. Right? Like, it's no
Right.
surprise.
Right.
But my guess is David will probably find a way to get those stories out because that is why he's doing it. He's, yes, doing it for the business community that he's supported for so long and mentored along the way, but he's also doing it for everyday folks just like me and you.
I found it offensive, just, as the lawyer in the room when he said, I'm going to give you a smart ass comment. It depends. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you say it depends as a
It was the attorney comment for sure.
exactly.
It wasn't a smart ass comment at all.
Said you had something else. What else you got?
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, this might actually be the third one. Okay.
Okay.
Best takeaway. I heard this line from a mentor of mine while I was in graduate school.
Okay.
And she told me, and I couldn't believe her. At the time, I was, I don't know, 22 and a half. I was taking care of my kid sister in my first apartment. Like, my sister lived with me. And you remember those times, those wild
Mhm.
times.
Yes.
Just trying to keep it all together, right? Full-time job, new work, kiddo to high school. And she told me, Nicole, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. And I was like, oh, how dare you? Like, you shouldn't fake things like it should be or it shouldn't be. Or she was like, nope, that's what you should do. And to hear him say that that's pretty much what his dad told him, because then after a little while, it just became innate. I was like, okay, all right, officially, Denise is, well, we called her Do. She's validated. Now I have somebody else on the other side of the pond who's also been like, fake it till you make it. So if you're not an on time person or an organized person, maybe you fake it
Yeah.
till you make it.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, with a time machine and a DeLorean, I will always be at time.
Oh, you could. You could fake it. You could change all your clocks, Matt. I challenge you. You just fake it for a little while. And then
You
all
just
of a
want me,
sudden,
you want me here 10 minutes earlier for the next show.
I do.
Call it.
I do. I do. Just be here earlier.
Just be here
I'm
earlier.
going to start to change your calendar. Just
That's what you're going to do.
Starts a half an hour
You're going
early.
to start a half an hour. Get here. Like, what do you mean they don't start?
Well, friends, you know what we say. If you're listening,
Keep listening.
you've been listening to the Serial Entrepreneur Show, produced by the team here at SmartCookie Media.